Welcome back, everyone. So today's Monday, and it's only been 2 days. We worked on Janice's hand on Friday, correct?
Yes.
Friday afternoon. And now it's Monday. So take a look at this. If you'll see, they're going to put a picture up right now of what the hand looked like prior, and then the swelling, and now you can look at this. And it's only been 2.5 days. So you see how small that joint is compared to the other pictures. And then you can see there's still some swelling here, and the swelling went all the way back to her elbow. So you had a fair bit of swelling there yesterday.
Yeah, it started here, the red, and then it started traveling up here, and it actually ballooned out pretty good. And this hand was, I would say another half size than that.
Yeah. So anyways, she talked to somebody that's kind of in the health business, and that person was really worried for her. And that's the thing, people in the health business aren't in the health business, okay? Anybody that has been medically trained doesn't really understand reactions of the body. They don't understand what a healing, and it's not a crisis. It shouldn't even be called a crisis. They don't understand what a healing is in the human body. You have to understand that when you take a look at this joint here, I did what nobody else can do. I took that joint down by 70% in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
25 minutes, I took that down. So now all the great minds of the world are totally complex, because here's Janice running around with rheumatoid arthritis, and her eventually in another 5-10 years, her hands would look like a claw. She might be able to scratch herself. That's about it. And the reality is all the great minds can't figure this out. So anyway, she had a relative, she told, and the relative wanted her to go to the hospital. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, and you would have went to the hospital, and because the hospital doesn't understand anything, you would have said, oh my God, what did this guy do to you? He must have really injured you. This is too much. That's what it went down.
Yeah.
Then they would have given her what? Tell me what they would have given you.
Well, they would have offered me painkillers or something, or antibiotics, which I don't take.
So why would you go to the hospital?
Yeah.
So see, the reality is Janice doesn't have faith in her body. She's been taught that way. But she's been taught that way because no one's ever taken the time to teach her that when you go in, okay, so every time that Janice looked at her hands, what did you think about your hand? Ugly, right?
What was pretty swollen.
No, not now.
Oh, before.
I'm not talking about
before.
this,
Yes, it was.
I'm talking
yeah,
about.
it was very unsightly, and I had people commenting on it.
Okay,
sometimes.
so every time they would do that, what do you think that would do to her emotions? Well, the word ugly would come into her mind. My hands are ugly. I don't like this. I don't want that kind of attention. And if anybody's going to give me any kind of attention, I want them to kiss my hand or love my hand. So understand, I would feel the same way too. So every time that you felt like that, you couldn't process the emotions. So where did it go?
Obvious, it must got stored.
It went into the area that you hated.
Oh.
It was a hateful emotion about this, so it goes back in and gets stored. All I did was just work here. I just said that. But guess what? If she went to the hospital, you know what? I would have gotten a phone call. Or if her daughter, who's in the health business, saw this, she'd go, oh my God, this guy should be run out of business.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is where we're at today, okay? We're at with people being victims. We're at with people who say sorry too much. People that feel they don't have the power to heal. People don't understand that what God really is, and that they're the greatest healing mechanism that has been ever created. So I just worked on this area, and this whole area swelled right up to her elbow. And yesterday, what did I say to her? That's great, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it'll come down in a few hours. Has it come down since yesterday?
Yeah.
And I also told you that 3 to 5 days, your arm is going to swell up like a balloon, didn't I?
Yeah, you did actually, yeah.
I know, but you didn't hear that.
No.
So I told her it was going to swell up, and don't worry about a thing. Just keep on putting the DMSO cream on, rose cream, and put the essential oils on the arm. And then I told her if you have a massage it just to move it along. And if it was really hot, to just put like a wet cold pack, not ice on it, just to draw some of the heat off, but do not stop the inflammation, because that's the healing. So if you would have went to a doctor, this party would have been over.
Yep. And I wouldn't have gone to a doctor.
Well, that's not true.
I just heard, no, I wouldn't have.
The reality is it's not true, because if you had enough people in your family going, he could have done something. It could be blood disease, and I said to her, I didn't do anything. All I did was take apart the emotional distress and the emotional anger that you had in here. So if you had anger for this area, which you do, and I go in here and I unravel that, that anger is now so much that it won't stay here because it would have to be that fat. So it's got to be spread out.
Okay.
Okay? So the anger had to be spread out. So understand something. Thought creates emotion that creates a frequency. Okay? And what happens? That creates chemicals, which are either hormones that heal or hormones that tear you apart. So every time you got angry and you hated this thing, you dumped more negative chemicals in, more negative emotion in here and made it worse. You have to love yourself well. So what I had to do is I had to go in and unravel this. I mean, the difference in this is day and night. Okay? So now what we're going to do, which we'll show you, is we're going to use the Avicen. Okay, we're going to use the Bioptron light. And then, are you ready for this? You're going to get to see it. I have Tesla's original equipment. I bought it. And I'm going to use Tesla's original equipment. And after I use those three things that I just said, the difference in this arm is going to be like day and night. Because energy medicine is the future, but the most important energy medicine is your mind. And if you don't watch your mind, you create a landmine in your body. And understand something. She had certain twisted thoughts that actually had the frequency and the positioning to go into her hands. Everything you create, from a pimple to a tumor, was caused because of this in here called the rumor.
Amazing.
Yeah. 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 You know, people think they know what love is. Go figure. People think they know what health is. Go figure. So understand something. I don't mind getting people well, okay? But sometimes it's a real pain because people are programmed, okay, to attack me for helping them. Just think, when your daughter told you should go to the hospital, if you believed her more than me, and you went there, and you went to people that weren't trained in healing, then all they would say is, this is abusive. And guess what? You've been abusive to yourself, and I'm trying to unravel that abuse. So I need everyone to get this. And you're going, why is he going on about this? Well, because you're programmed to hate yourself. And you're programmed to not honor your body. And you don't even know that pain is your friend. And when you attack pain, when you try to kill pain, you're killing yourself. It's as simple as that. I mean, her hand looks 10 times better than it looked on Friday. And so when people go into this, it's not a healing crisis, okay? It's a healing celebration. Because with every healing, you're going to have redness, some inflammation, and swelling. Because you have to release the negative emotion that you put into the tissues. What do you think a tumor is? A tumor is hate and anger. That's what a tumor is. And it's been fueled by fear for years. Look at you. There is not one part of the body that does not relate to an emotion or a group of emotions. And understand, I'm putting a master class together, and when this master class come out, it's called the emotional intelligence of cancer and disease. When that comes out, you'll see what I'm talking about. So here's the deal. It's like, wow, you just want to help people. But guess what? How do you help people that are emotionally crippled and they've been sold the wrong thing on health?
That's true.
It's true. Do you know how many people? I've got another lady out of Tennessee that calls me every day right now. And I know that if she doesn't check in with me, she's not going to make it because she's totally medical. Her husband's totally medical. I've got her on a fast right now. She's taken so many drugs for nausea that now that she's coming off and doing this, it's kind of like a juice fast, lemon cayenne, honey fast. So it's not really a fast, but it's all I can do right now. And yesterday she's totally medically oriented, and I'm telling her, well, she goes, I'm so nauseous, I feel like I want to throw up. And I said, well, then you should do therapeutic vomiting, because guess what? All the years that you could not stomach something in a relationship with someone, yourself or someone else, or something on this planet, you swallowed it. So now with this, what I've got her going on, all of that emotion is starting to come to the surface, and all the medication she took to suppress her emotions because she was nauseous, because her stomach couldn't process and swallow all this, is now coming up. So now she's got to do therapeutic vomiting. And if she doesn't do it, she's not going to make it. Because one way or the other, you're going to have to learn how to deal with stuff, or it's going to deal with you. And that's it right there. Mm-hmm. Right? So I need everyone to really, how many people do you meet that totally honor and respect themselves? Or how many people do you know that are saying sorry all the time?
Guilty.
Yeah, and you know what? And Janice knows, I just had a conversation. I said, if you're going to come here, you can't do this. You can't apologize. You can't come from a victim point of view, because I said, it's going to drive me crazy. I need you to come in here as the goddess of everything and know that you deserve to be healed, and that you need to be on guard, and you need to love yourself well. All right, so we're going to set up, and thanks for joining us, and welcome to the adventure of a lifetime, called really showing you that your body can heal from basically anything, okay? And it's not genetics that's the problem. It's epigenetics. Epigenetics means above, all right? Okay, all right. We're going to set up now, and we're going to just show you what we would do with our hand to bring it back to normal. Okay, so everybody, as you know, we only did the work on on Friday. We did all the work, the Wolfe Non-Surgical. I did the Wolfe Non-Surgical on her hand for only 20 to 25 minutes, right? Yep, sure. Reduced her joint, the scar tissue and the knots in the joints by about 70% in 25 minutes. So understand something. What you think is real therapy out there is not real therapy, okay? Let's just get to it, okay? We have created a world of practitioners that go out and they manage pain. They actually don't master pain, and they don't reverse the dis-ease, because disease is just symptoms of somebody being out of balance, and going to practitioners who do not understand how to bring the body back into balance. And I'm not running these practitioners down, but the reality is that you having a life without pain and suffering is what you were supposed to have, which they told you that you could have, which is not being delivered. Okay? And I will tell you right now, it's one thing to just make a statement, but there's one thing to back it up, and that's what I'm always going to do. Okay, so we worked on her hand, as we already stated. This weekend, her hand swelled up like a balloon, and even though I only worked on this part of the hand, okay, the swelling went all the way to her elbow, and it's already coming down since yesterday, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this Tesla coil. This was actually built by Tesla, okay? This unit here is approximately 100 years old. Did you get that? Okay, so now let's move forward. So Jason is going to take and show you what the Tesla coil, it's creating healing gases, okay, and frequencies. Now take a look at this is our tester here. You should be able to see purple coming from this mushroom instrument that's feeding off the coil, and then you'll see the red. That shows that it's active and it's working. And now what's going to happen is Jason's going to take the mushroom, and he's going to work the whole hand with the mushroom. But understand something. In 3 minutes, we get rid of the pain out of the body with this unit. This unit gets rid of pain. It can get rid of pain in 3 minutes. So he's going to work the hand first with this, and then he's going to use the condenser. You see the difference? Okay? He's going to use the condenser to work right over just the area that I did to really go in there and establish that the scar tissue is not going to come back together and knot all up, and the calcium's not going to stay there, and the crystallization's not going to come back, and we're going to make sure that moves away, because the body, you know what the body thinks? Oh my gosh, how could somebody come in and untie a knot that's this big, as big as a grape, and reduce it by 70%? Nobody else has been able to do it. It's got all this calcium and all this scar tissue, and it's bound up like a rock. And then somebody comes in and it brings it down by 70%. The body goes, this can't be right. So the body wants to bring it back to try to protect itself because it's habitual. Okay? So everything in the cells is a habit. They're not actually thinking. The cells think, but there's a habit that's created there, and they go, oh, we got to protect ourselves. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this, and go ahead and start. So what you're seeing is this argon gas and frequencies are going to go right in and start really repairing and charging up the mitochondria, helping to align the DNA, RNA, help the cells to actually process better, the toxins out, nutrition in, and then restore. This is all about restoring and coming back to total health, total tissue health, total cell health. All right. So we're going to let Jason do this now. And like I said, he's going to go through right up to the elbow. And then he's going to use the condenser just on the area that I worked on. And then we're going to come back and we're going to show you the Avicen and the Bioptron. Then you can take a look, if you guys get a close-up of her hand, and that you'll see how we're going to bring the swelling down and the redness. And it's going to look almost normal by the time we're done in the next... the whole thing is going to take us about... Probably because the Avicen is going to be 30 minutes, that's going to be 15, and this is only about, with the mushroom, it's going to be about 3 minutes to 5 minutes the whole arm, and then he'll go in with the condenser for only 3 minutes on the area, okay?
You can even smell the ozone producing from the Tesla machine.
Yeah, and there's not enough ozone to make it dangerous. There's enough ozone to help to clean your sinuses out, though, because we know that ozone, it stands for oxygen on emission, all right? So there's part one of the energy medicine training that we do when everybody comes to us, okay? And what we like people to do is we like people to actually bring health home. So if you want to take your life back, then you need to learn what we know so that you can change your reality. So change your personality and become the practitioner that you seek. We'll be back to show you the rest of the equipment in just a few minutes. So now that we did the Tesla coil, now we move on to a device called an Avicen. And you know, it's really important that when we say things, it actually is true. But Avicen increases the microcirculation in the human body more than anything else that we know of on the planet. And this is proven by different university studies and actually third-party studies, okay? So all the documentation is there. Where even like the Beamer, even like a hyperbaric chamber doesn't come close to an Avicen. Isn't that something? An Avicen will increase the circulation by 100% more than anything else on the market, but it'll increase the microcirculation in the body by 66%, where most things are around 32 to 36%, okay? And you'll know it is because you'll find that your nails are growing faster, okay? Your hair is growing faster and thicker. It actually will help grow the hair back. So the worst place for circulation is the head, the hands, and the feet. And you know it as you get older because of cold hands, cold feet. I mean, how cold were your hands where the arthritis is?
Well, they were cold because my grandchildren didn't like me helping them get dressed.
That's right. So you're going to have cold hands because you're on your way out, okay? I mean, that's why they call it, oh, you see the stiff over there? That means something that's dead, right? So understand, a stiff is cold. So understand something. The more life that leaves your body, the colder that area, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Avicen now for 30 minutes. And people with a chronic condition, they want to do the Avicen 4 times a day. But with her knowing and understanding about the scar tissue and crystallization and the calcium, and we're teaching her how she can work on herself and how her husband can work on her. So if you don't live local, okay, if you don't live locally, you can't come in every week. That's why we do the personal treatment and trainings where you come here or we fly to you and we'll teach your whole family. We'll teach your whole community. We go to places where there can be 250 people living on a farm, and we will teach a few people there how to become non-surgical certified so that they know how to work anywhere on the body and how to use all this. Because what does it matter? If you don't understand it and you're not able to do the actual therapy that gets you well, then how valuable is that therapy? So we're going to use the Avicin, and we're going to do that now, and then we're going to come back in a half an hour, and we're going to show you how the Bioptron works, okay? And then we're going to talk about the home care that I'll want her to do, and we talked about that on Friday, the first video, but we're going to, because it's going to change a little bit, because we're already seeing big changes here, okay? Okay, so now what we've done is we've used the Tesla coil, we used the Avicin, and now we're going to finish off with the Bioptron light, which is a full spectrum light, okay? And it's the only light of its kind. And it has a fluorine lens. The same person that developed the Tesla, which was Tesla, Nikola Tesla, developed the lens that's actually in this light. And it can actually shine right into the bone. Now, so then we're going to run this for about 15 minutes, okay? And then at the end of these videos, okay, we're going to show you a picture, the whole transition. We're going to show you before we did the first deep tissue treatment, right after the 20 minutes, okay, and then we're going to show you her hand when she came in today, and then we're going to show you her hand and arm when she leaves today, okay? And she's only had one treatment, everyone. So then we will show you when we do the second treatment on her, okay? Now, remember something. We're also going to be teaching her husband how to work on her, and we're going to teach her how to work on herself, like I was saying in the other video, because you know what? You got to bring health home, okay? If you want to just be treated instead of trained, you're only going to be good to your next treatment, okay? And that, for me, that just doesn't work, all right? And just so you know, like I said, the Avicin will increase microcirculation by 66%. This will increase it by about 33%. But remember something, the Avicin, we're dealing with a temperature and a pulse, and with this, we're dealing with light energy. So they're two different healing modalities. And then with the Tesla, we're dealing with gases and we're dealing with frequencies. So what we've done is we've brought the best of energy medicine together to help to create that healing, okay? So now what we're going to do is I just want to talk about what she will do when she goes home, all right? What Janice will do. So when Janice goes home, now she won't have to put a cool, wet, cold towel on to draw the inflammation off, because we don't want to bring any more inflammation down. We want the natural process of healing. People don't get this. It's really messed up out there, okay? I mean, come on. Some of the so-called physios, so-called best physios in this town, people will come to me and I said, I was told to go home and ice it. And I said, yeah, well, that's great. Now we got cell death. Now you're locking everything in. You can't lock the disease in. And also, we were talking here off camera, and believe it or not, when I worked on her, as you will see when we show you the transition of pictures, when I worked on her for 20-25 minutes maximum, the whole top part of her hand and right down to here, it went black, gray, like charcoal. Why? Ready for this? That was the death coming out. You heard what I said. That was the death, disease, and the death of the cells coming out of the cells to revive them. That's right. We actually store that. Like I was saying in the other video, is that's why you have cold hands, because your vibration comes down, your energy comes down, your mitochondria are corrupted. Okay? All right. So when she goes home now, she'll do vascular flushing, where she's going to do, ready for this? 3 minutes of warm water under this area. Okay? And then 1 minute as cold as the water comes out. and then 3 minutes of warm, 1 minute of cold, 3 minutes of warm, 1 minute of cold, finishing off with cold and doing that 3 times. And she'll do that 3 or 4 times a day. Because we want to really just flush everything out, flush it in, activate the cells. We want to contract and we want to expand. Contract, expand. Just like your lungs, taking a deep breath. Toxins out, nutrition in. We got this. You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. If she really embraces loving herself, her hands will look like within 6 weeks to 3 months, if she does her due diligence, her hands will look like they've never been arthritic ever in her life. But most people cannot center themselves enough in self-care, self-awareness, self-love. They fall off. And also, guess what? She'll be the only one in the family that's really focusing on her health. And guess what? For the rest of the family, that's called selfishness. That's called you're so self-centered. I can't believe all the time you take for yourself. Now, I will tell you with her personality is that she overdoes everything. So they have a property that they work on. And I guarantee you that she tries to keep on proving herself like every other woman that, she didn't hydrate properly. She pushes herself. Even when her neck hurts, her back hurts, her hand works, she goes, I can do more. I can do more. And that was actually, guess what that is? That's a self-hate program that she didn't even know was running. I am not going to do more. I am not going to abuse myself. I am going to love myself. I am going to give myself the pleasures of life. There's a new concept, eh, Janice?
Yes, it totally is.
It is a new concept, isn't it? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with this woman. This is one of the most beautiful women that has walked into my clinic. But you're all programmed. You're programmed to self-destruct. So anyways, we're going to get her to do the vascular flushing. And we're going to get her to continually rub the DMSO cream. Can you pick it up and show the camera, please? The DMSO cream.
DMSO rose cream.
That would be that camera there, right? So, no, that's good. Just lift it up. And that's the rose cream. It's not as intense. So that'll go on the arm lightly 3 times a day. The gel will go on the area that I worked where it was all knotty. The gel will go there. And then the pain away is, as the pain comes down, she'll switch from using our pain away. These are all our oils. And I will come up against any oils on the market anywhere. I've got the best alchemist in the world. I really do. And I've been making oils for 32 years. Did you get that? We've been around a while. So we will use the pain away. But as the pain away is gone, we go more with the muscle restore. Okay? And the muscle restore is more for tissue healing, not for drawing the pain. And then we'll also use the pain away spray. And that is a fulvic spray that will draw inflammation off. And she should have been spraying that on her arm as much as she could think about when it was really inflamed. It'll just draw it right off.
It actually takes the pain right out.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take it away that fast.
It was really hot after we left here, and so it was painful. And I
Yeah.
sprayed it, and it knocked it right out.
So understand that once you learn these basic steps and these basic rules, and that you are the practitioner for you, no one is going to be better than you. Let me tell you something. All right? She needs to get to the point that she does not need me at all, because that's when she's going to have her life back. And that's when she's showing our Creator that she totally respects her body for the first time in her life. Because when you don't need another practitioner and you don't need to go for treatments, then you've been trained how to get off the pain train. Okay? I want to thank everybody for joining us. And the next time you will see us is when we're going to be doing the next treatment. Okay? And the next treatment will only be the second treatment. And you're going to see that you are the miracle. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.